Hi. So in second lab, we are going to understand the VMware Aria Automation architecture. And in order to understand the architecture, we need to understand the key components within the Aria Automation. We can have a deployment. There are two types of deployment. One is standard deployment architecture, other one is a cluster deployment architecture. And in standard deployment architecture, we have a one appliance of the VMware Aria suite lifecycle, one device for VMware Workspace, one access, one appliance for VMware Automation appliance. So this is a very small setup which we can be used for small environment or a POC. Then there's another big setup which can be used for the larger environments, and in which we have almost three same appliances, but the numbers are increased and we have utilized the load balancer. So we have VMware Aria Automation appliance. There are three, and we kept it behind the load balancer. Likewise, for identity as a service, we have Workspace One Access, and it has been kept behind the load balancer. And then we have a one appliance, Aria Suite Lifecycle Management. What is the use of Aria Suite Lifecycle Management? It has been used for centralizing the management of all these appliances. Otherwise, it will be difficult to manage the appliances for the upgrades and installation. And Workspace One is a identity as a service, and anyone who want to access the VMware environment, they have to authenticate and ensure that they are the right person. So it helps us to perform the multi-factor authentication. Then this is a appliance, and it has a Photon operating system. On the top of that, we have a Kubernetes up and running, where we are using RabbitIQ, which is an industry standard messaging queue service. And then we have a Postgres for database. And this Kubernetes environment can be deployed or configured with the help of Helium. Helium is a centralized repository. What it happens, once this appliance is turned on, then the Docker is installed and a Kubernetes cluster is configured. And then on the top of that, this Helium registry is utilized to create the and deploy the pods. And then we have the VMware Aria Automation Services configured in the architecture. So this is short information about the architecture, that there are three main critical components. One is lifecycle, other one is Workspace One Access, and third one is the VMware Aria Automation appliance. Let's see in the lab. So first we'll explore VMware Aria suite lifecycle. So here we can see the services which lifecycle manager provides. It's a lifecycle operation, locker, identity and tenant management, content management, marketplace. We realize cloud. So this is where we have the certificates, licensing, password. This is a locker. Then this is the identity and tenant. So here we have a workspace configured. So let's click on manage environment. So by default, we have two environments are installed during the installation of VMware Aria Automation. Let's click on this particular view detail of the global environment. This is a VMware identity manager, which is now been also known as a Workspace One Access. This is a VMware automation node, and here we can see the IP assigned to the appliance. So since it is a lab environment, so it is a small setup which has been deployed standard. So this is how our lifecycle manager looks like. Now let's explore the workspace 1. So by default, admin and config admin users are created. So this is the identity manager. In here we can see this is the admin and config admin. The role is read only admin and super user admin. For admin, the rule is super admin. In identity and access management, we can add the directory. There's a local directory. On this particular tab, you can manage the integration with your enterprise directory to sync the user to the workspace one added access. And from here we can log out. So that was a workspace one. Now let's examine the Aria automation service. So this is the old one where the cloud assembly is written. New name is VMware Aria Automation Assembler, and this is service broker's new name is VMware Aria Automation Consumption, and code stream's new name is VMware Aria Automation Pipeline. Orchestrator's name is VMware Aria Orchestrator. Let's examine the appliance. Since it has been since the Kubernetes has been deployed, so kubectl will be used for the query. So we have prelude namespace, and what are the pods in this namespace? We have all these pods running under this namespace. So here we can see this is a rabbit IQ. We have this is a VCO appliance. Here it is the Postgres database. So yeah, this is the architecture. We have an appliance and which has a Kubernetes environment. We have a workspace one, which is helps you to integrate the VMware's environment with the AD. We can see here we can add the directory and then we can discover the users. We can see assign the role and see the role role has been assigned from the workspace one. And the most critical component is lifecycle manager, which keeps the certificates and passwords for all its appliances and help us to upgrade and manage. Yeah, so this is our second lab where we have a basic understanding about the environment and its architecture of the VMware we realize. Thank you.